Yes, sir. My name is Akashi, guys, and in this video here, we are doing another tier list. This is not the first tier list, but the second one. I said I was going to start doing tier lists every time a character drops, and in this case, we are celebrating, or tier listing, however you want to phrase it, the Ultra Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, who released for the Powerful Opponent campaign. Last time we did this, for the first time we did this, we had LF Cooler drop. He was a very serious drop, let's say, because he literally took the game by storm, and I know for a lot of people's opinions, especially mine, he's the best character in the game. Undoubtedly, there's no competition, no conversation about it. He's so annoying because of his strike lock, and that alone tears him above everybody else. Just because he strike locks you in the first time, it's called Cooler Sweep for a reason, man. It's a cooler sweep for real. Stumbling on my words. I'm here in the Nike Tech. I literally just got home actually, so but enough about me. We're going to be looking at this tier list. I'm going to take off from where I had my tier list last time. So when we did it, when LF Cooler first came out, did it like a couple days after that. I've got a tier list here just for me to show you. This is what I had last time. So I'm basically just going to focus on the top 10. We only care about the top 10. If it's not the top 10, then not a worry. So we got Cooler number 1, USG number 2, Droids 3, USV 4, Trunks 5, MUI 6, Tapion 7, Dragon Fist 8, Revzon 9, and then VB 10. And that's what I had in the list when LF Cooler dropped. And we're going to see where value has changed for this tier list, where the Ultra Legendary Super Saiyan Broly has actually entered the rankings and whatnot. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 30,000 subscribers. Probably already hit it by the time you're seeing this video. I don't know, but it's all down to you. Appreciate you guys watching the video anyways, even if you're at this point. All my social media links are going to be on the bottom of the screen. This is the YouTube channel where we've got Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link all in the description below. So make sure to check me out on all of those. But yeah, man, I don't want to hold you guys too long. I've got a lot of thinking to do about the tier list, but really and truly we're going to move Broly, and then we're going to move from there based on what I had the last time talking about when LF Cooler dropped. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Don't cry, I just placed Broly at tier 1 so I could see him. Shout out Dingy, he makes the tier list. Dingy right here, shout him out, man. He literally makes the tier list for everybody to use. Let me zoom in. I'll probably put a screenshot on the screen so you can see. Give him a follow on Twitter, he deserves it. Right above me, man. He makes the tier list so that everybody can just use it and have their own. I should put the link to the tier list in the description. Shout out to him, because obviously wouldn't be bringing you this video without the tier list, and he's the one providing it. So what you guys need to know for the tier list currently is that I'm only listing the top 10. So everybody down here, their placement is irrelevant. So for example, somebody's probably angry at me because, I don't know, let's just take Margin Vegeta is behind Trunks, whatever, cool. But none of them are listed down below here, so don't worry about that. We're looking at literally just the ones above here, and I have a strict placement on where I want to put Broly, but we're talking about right now, right? So I'm going to give my opinion based on how I feel about it. I still think Cooler's God tier. He's boosted right now, it doesn't change anything. He's definitely going to still be God tier. He can stay there comfortably. And then it's the Z tier that's really going to move around. These are the top tier members of the meta. This guy is the solo hard carry Cooler Sweep right now. That's him up there. But these Z tiers are the real core of who is going to actually be the main units you see in the meta. Just so you guys know, I play PvP every single season, go for Godly every single season, and get Godly. I'm 18-time Godly at the moment. So I do know what I'm talking about. It's not just a thing where I'm just giving my opinion with no playing time on the game. I stream every day, by the way. Tap in. If you catch me live, pop in, say hi. But anyways, I still think this will stay consistent, but there are some contenders. So what I had before, let me move everybody down here so it's much easier to see. So the guys that are tier 2 are the possible contenders that I feel could move up. So I'm going to put him there because he's obviously going to get a place. Not obviously, but he's an ultra, so you should expect it. Everybody in tier 2 is most likely going to be S tier or above. But they're the contenders. So I'm going to move up just some people that I think could definitely make the cut. So we got Broly there. I'm going to put this Vegeta there. I'm going to put this Revival Gohan there. I'm going to put the Blue Beerus there. And is there any more that I'm missing that could possibly make the top 10? I'm just going to glide through. Margin Vegeta could possibly make the top 10. I'm going to glide through just anybody I'm missing. Nope, my eyes are working. Nope. Somebody got happy there. Somebody definitely got happy there watching the video, but he's not moving up. I think this is solid. So these 5 could potentially replace some of the places of the people up here. But for now, this is what I had when Cooler came out. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go one by one and think about where I would place people. So first, I definitely have Cooler, God tier. He's still very solid. Number 2, now I need to decide what moves based on Legendary Super Saiyan Broly releasing. I think because Broly entered the game, movies as a whole goes up. So if we're looking at who we've got down here, personally, Revhan value has gone through the roof. And over any of these 3, Revhan definitely stocks going to the moon, bruv. Prices are just increasing all the time. There's so many more Revhans that I've seen just because Broly came out, because people have been running many different variants of teams that involve a revival on top of the fact that the disruption that Broly provides in the meta, and it's quite insane like how people just switch up like that. It literally happened overnight. Very crazy. But just shows how a person's value can be affected by just one unit. So I think if I'm going to start with Broly, he's definitely going to be Z tier. And I think we should work him backwards. So we already got him past these 2 S tiers. No discussion there. If you're discussing that, there's something wrong with you, in my opinion. Dragon Fist, as the days go on, his value is going down. I've seen barely any Dragon Fist because of Broly. And that is quite crazy for me. Because Dragon Fist was such a core member of movies, but now you're not seeing him at all just because Broly exists. So if anything, that's an easy gap. Now, Tapion support, is it better than what Broly can add to a team? Definitely not. If you're thinking that, you're also bugging. Broly's gauge, and just in terms of him being an ultra boosted as well, is way more valuable than Tapion's support. So definitely overlap that guy as well. So yeah. MUI, he's a bit of a tricky one, but he's definitely fallen off in terms of his defenses. It's more so with MUI, it's in the hands of a player. But I have to say, we have to consider that there's more trash players than good players in the game, and that might seem wild to believe, but of course not everybody is a master. You're not gonna base it off the highest tier, because I don't feel like that's realistic. It's not LBR when you're playing ranked, which is why we're including the boost system in how we rank the tiers. We're also not basing it off high stars as well. I feel like that's ridiculous. Nobody does that. You take a median, a mean about where everybody else would get them. So right, highest about 9 stars and heading down to about 6.5. With Ultras is 5. I'd say with Sparkings and LFs. Sparkings 9, LFs I'd say about 6. Going to 9 though. But I'd definitely say Broly is better than MUI as well. I feel like that's a no-brainer. Reds do have a lot of value right now, but MUI specifically, not seeing him as much. But it's mostly in the hands of people that just want to just rely on the fact that he dodges everything. And I don't feel like that's a good way to play PvP, and it definitely doesn't give you the results you need unless you're using him as a more experienced player. That's just my opinion on that. Let me know what you think. I feel like in this system with Broly entering, Trunks is also going to drop very low. And just off him being here, I'm going to move him all the way back here. Like literally with the greens, these 2 could be dropping much lower. Find out later in the video. But for now, I got to move them way back just because they're green, just off that. Green is probably one of the weakest colors in the meta right now, and it's so crazy because they've barely ever had anything as well. Probably just the Vegeta holding it up heavy. But well, Dragon Fist during the anniversary, of course. But yeah, now we're in the big leagues, the top 5. Here we're in the top 5 now. We got some heavy hitters up there. We got Cooler, who's not moving, so don't worry about it. But we got USG, Droids, and USV. Now, USV is the biggest eater, pause, when it comes to Broly. Jesus Christ, that sounds mad. But when it comes to shredding Broly's health, that's the man you want to call. Undeniably. Undeniably. However, he's running a team which is very strict. You'd only really see him on Fusions, and Fusions is a very expensive team, and it's actually on the decline as we speak. So I don't know how sure about these two's positioning, but for now I'm just going to talk about why I feel these 2, as in the Droids and USG, are better than Broly. Now, USG, you just can't keep up with him. You just can't. He's been here for 9 months. And every time you kill one of his homies, he's just going to come back with a vengeance. On top of the fact that his value is increasing with movies, it's so stupid. He could be run on movies, Super Saiyans, Fusion Warriors, which are like probably top 3 teams that you'd see consistently. Maybe not Super Saiyans, I might be pushing it there, I know. Someone's going to be like, he's trying to gas up Super Saiyans, I know. But probably top 3 teams you see in the meta, you know what I'm saying? But excluding Super Saiyans, Fusions and movies are definitely 2 dominant teams that you see in the meta. On top of the fact that he has type neutral capabilities, 2 ultimate arts, there's so much in his kit that is just way better than what Broly can provide. On top of the fact that Broly, even though he's a new unit and boosted, he still doesn't keep up, and if at max he's like neck and neck, and that's a low, like, you know what I'm saying? USG had many reruns, people have him higher stars. Broly just fresh came out, and right after Cooler, who's the best in the game, you're not going to see a lot of Brolys in high stars. But outside of that, not even considering just the fact that people might summon, if we're just considering strictly his kit, it's still not up to par with what Gogeta is performing at, even with him on the boost. Gogeta is not going to have an issue when facing Broly, and I can tell you that certainly. Obviously, it depends on the player using each character, but in more odds, I'm taking Gogeta every single time. And on top of the fact that this guy's damage is just not impressive. If you're gassing up his damage, you must be forcing Super Saiyan buffs on a 4-time Zenkai buff team as well. Like, you need to relax. I'll be honest, like, the damage is just not there. So for that, he's definitely not surpassing USG on my tier list. I don't see that as reasonable on anybody's tier list. I feel like that's ridiculous. Droids have been a valuable leader slot unit for the longest. Literally, since they came out, they've been on leader slot pretty much. They haven't budged. They're not moving. Solid, iron body. Literally, with Broly's value coming out and him boosting up movies, people still don't want to just strictly use movies. They still put androids on the leader slot. And that says a lot in itself. I feel like these 2 are probably interchangeable, but I feel like because of movies being so valuable, even though the droids have such a high leader slot value, I feel like you don't have to consider their leader slot value as much anymore because Cooler exists. And that's a solid red for like a red-red-purple setup or a purple-purple-red setup. So you don't have to like praise these guys as highly. So I'm going to actually go with USG first, just for the movies tag. Because Cooler exists, I'm also going to keep them 3rd. And now we're down to these 2. So am I going to put Broly 4th, or am I going to put USV above? Now, the argument against USV would be that, oh, even though he's type advantage against Broly, and the meta supports more purple and red, Broly's highly protected by reds as well. So you don't really have to see this guy as a threat. But I feel like even though Broly is being protected by all those reds, USV is not that shaken. Broly himself, I feel like he doesn't provide enough for you to say that I should put him over. Even though he's running the most dominant team, he's clearly a lackluster ultra in comparison to all the other ultras on release. We saw what USG came and did when he dropped on Festival. We saw what Kaioken did, even though he's in the mud, when he dropped, whenever he dropped. It was during a period of time where everyone was like, his animations were rubbish. Whatever, cool. But we saw what he done. And we saw what USV done when everybody first thought, oh, he's a defense type. That's a miss. But then switch up just like that. This guy is comboing you to hell, and he's one-shotting you at all healths when he was on the boost. Broly does not have that shine, famous celebrity factor dropping in the game. He's a highly anticipated unit for who he is, but I can't put him above USV even on the boost, especially because USV is the main unit in the meta countering him. The same way people felt that, oh, Cooler's here, so USV drops. There's no way I'm putting Broly above USV just because of how they counter each other. Even though there are lots of reds, for example, the droids, MUI, and the best unit in the game to counter USV, Broly is not surpassing this guy, and he is the only guy who's really directly countering Broly at any given point. I'm going to keep USV 3rd, and I feel like Broly has a safe position in 4th for the fact that he causes a lot of disruption, can be especially tanky, and of course he's being supported by the boost, which actually clears him above all of these units here. Now, that's my top 5. I feel like that's a solid top 5 right there. Cooler at 1, USG 2, Android 3, USV 4, and then obviously we got Broly at number 5. Let me know what you guys think about that. I can't budge these 3. Droids are very close to being second, but honestly, just because how dominant movies is, I couldn't do it. Droids above USV for sure. But USV is just clearing Broly, even though Broly's on the boost, and he is the literal only man that can directly counter Broly. And I just gotta put it out like that. Now we're going into the bottom 5 of the list, and some of them might be joining the S tiers on top of the guys we have here. So I'm gonna think about who I'm gonna put next, and I feel simply because of Broly being here, Revhan has skyrocketed. I want to just say that off rip. People need to put respect on him. I was not respecting him, and I don't feel like he didn't. I feel like he didn't deserve respect because people were forcing him on movies. But the reason why I respect him right now, for 2 reasons. 1, he's a very good partner for Broly. He's a good support, and on top of the fact he provides a revival for the team, he can heavily keep movies in the game for a very long time, and he's like a shoulder to lean on. But on top of that, people have been opting in to use Revhan over Broly simply because of the revival factor, and it just goes to show that Broly's value as an Ultra isn't as high as we wanted it to be, or people anticipated it to be, for the fact he's a summonable Ultra. So just the fact that he can just be substituted off rip, if you have Revhan at a decent enough stars, which you should, he's been in the game for a while, if you actually care for movies, then that just tells me that he's probably just about as valuable. Or if you don't have Broly and you want to use purple on movies, you can just have Revhan there, and it's not going to make the biggest dent. For example, right after USG came off the boost and about the time with VB Zenkai, and people were actually opting in to use VB. And that's not to say VB is better than USG, but there's you got the brand name, and then you got Ultra Super Gogeta at home. You got Broly, then you got Broly at home. Broly at home still kind of smacks, especially if you're going gym. USG at home still kind of smacks. You know, there's rice at home. You gotta eat up the rice at home. You gotta make those gains somehow. It's not the worst. You're still happy about it. You still eat it. Pause, because we're talking about units here. Well, you know what I'm saying. So I definitely will keep this guy in my top 10 without a doubt, and I feel like he should be in everybody's top 10 just because of that. Now we gotta move on here. Tapion has to get mentioned, and I feel like Tapion's a big core of movies, but him being a yellow, and I don't believe he's boosted anymore because Dragon Fist also have the boost, he's not boosted anymore. Him being a yellow, he's not a USV, so he's not gonna hold up well. He's not a tank. You can build him defensively, but he's still gonna get shredded. He's getting shredded. It's going to be way different to if he was to be using USV, and that difference is clear. But he does provide a lot of support to the meta, so I have to put him here. I was going to consider moving him here, but because Revhan has revival and purple will definitely be more dominant than having a yellow, even though Tapion is still the core yellow for movies. I don't want to take that away from him. He's just a lot weaker, and I don't value his support over having Revhan in the game right now with that double purple setup. Let me know what you guys think about that. That might be a little debate there, but I feel like I explained that very well, for sure. Now, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I count that right? This is top 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we're at 7 right now. I'm very tempted to make a hot take. I'm very tempted. I feel like these 2 greens, they're moving out. Like, pack your bags. You don't belong on the tier list no more, unfortunately. So I'm gonna just go ahead and move them down here just to have a clearer insight of what I can see on my list. Alright, we're on 7 places. That means there's 3 more spaces. I'm very tempted to move MUI up, and I think I'm gonna do that. He still has a lot of value as a red if you don't have Cooler or the droids, so you can use him as a leader. Very valuable. VB, honestly, recently I've been using this Beerus. Now, this is the hot take I want to make. This is the hot take I want to make. I might be munching a bit too hard.
No, I'm definitely a munch.
I know I am. I made the tweet on Twitter. I'm going to put up on the screen right now. And the reception wasn't as bad as I felt. But unless you've actually used them, and I feel like mine is 14 stars. So that's why I might be munching. I probably am.
No, I'm definitely a munch.
I don't think I'm going to put him high up. I might leave him at 10. But With his lock-in and Revhan increasing in value, and because of Cooler, Revzar is also very valuable. I'm going to keep Revzar S, so everybody else is going to be S, I think. Yeah. His revival nullification is insane, and he's a direct counter to Cooler, who as soon as you pop that green, he's getting one-shotted. I've been using him very, very well, and you could say the same thing about VB, but VB's blue card is a bit, it's not meant to just shred. It locks in, it used to shred, but it definitely doesn't feel like it anymore unless you're building specifically for blue cards. And who does that with VB? If you're doing that, I feel like you're being very, very niche, and that says a lot about the unit in itself. I'm thinking keeping Revzar here, but then I'm looking at the rest here. For example, even though that one blue card mechanic with Beerus is more valuable than I feel like Margin Vegeta's blue card. Margin Vegeta is a transforming unit, explosive greens, very, very valuable. Margin Vegeta's teams are not up there, so I'm very hesitant on placing him higher. Beerus goes up in value if you use MUI. That's a God Key team. But that's why I also wanted to keep Green Vegeta in the rankings here, but green is such a weak color that I don't even think he's going to make the top. He's not going to make the top 10. Even probably me talking about him, somebody's hearing disgust like, Zach, why are you even touching that Vegeta, blah, 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 blah. Green stocks have just gone down. So I feel like I'm just going to deal with these four. These four got it. Maybe just move this guy up for sake. Just for PR, the promotion. People be like, oh, I can't believe you didn't have him up there. You know, I got to make some people happy. Damn, this is a tough one. This is a tough one here. I think how I'm gonna do it here, and I'm real sure about this. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna move Revzar up here, because if Cooler's being run on LOE, this guy is always coming. So I'm gonna bring him up to the Z tiers. But I'm gonna hold these three, and Fusion Warrior God Key, Future. That's 3 tags in one. Very, very valuable. People say he has inconsistent damage, which he does. He doesn't come originally as a soldier. It depends on who he's facing up against. If he's facing off against melee types, he's going to do insane melee damage. If he's facing off against range types, he's not especially going to do a lot of blast damage because he's a melee type. So it's quite counterproductive. If he's facing off against defense types, then he's going to get buffed or have sustained damage cut or something like that in his kit. And if it's a support type, he gets draw speed. So I can see why people say VB is inconsistent. MV is more consistent, but he has terrible teams. So it's like, what's the point of valuing him that high? And then Beerus here, who is just a ridiculously hot take, where I'm very hesitant on putting him above these two, is shaking me up. But I feel like if people warm up to the fact that Beerus is here, you know what? I'm going to stand firm on Beerus. I'm going to stand firm on Beerus. I'm going to keep him as the head of S. The head of S. Oof. So I've put Beerus at the head of S, and I feel like the only reason I'm going to do that is because if you check the rankings right now, if you check GodTube right now, I'm sure you'll find a lot of Hakai Beeruses. And there's a reason for that. It's because he actually has value. And I'm one of those users. I'm not at GodTube yet, but if you check it, I don't know, I'm spitting. Pause. You might not believe the hype right now. It's not going to be as crazy as this guy being top 5. You know, shout out Virgil, that's my guy. But yeah, I definitely see this guy's value going up with these 2 revival units in the meta and being a direct counter to the strongest reds in the game with that lock-in blue. It's phenomenal. But his defenses are so bad. So I'm munching a bit.
No, I'm definitely a munch.
I know, but I'm going to keep him there. I'm stuck with these positionings here. I don't know if I want to gas up Trunks. I think I might have to. But green is such a weak color that I don't even want to. And then I'm looking at the rest of the options here on the tier list, and it's kind of ridiculous to not have him there, even though like he's better than these 2. Trunks is definitely better than these 2, but I haven't seen a lot of Trunkses. If I do see a green, it's Dragon Fist or Trunks. But Dragon Fist is just not as good as Trunks right now, especially in my opinion anyways. but then green being valuable in itself is very difficult to scale, and that's what I'm struggling with right now. I'm trying to look at if there's anybody else down here, but everybody else down here is just not it either. So it's not even like I'm even considering the spots down here. It's just like this bottom few are just meh. And it says a lot about the meta as well. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's pretty much the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Revs are being the same as MUI is crazy. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna move it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 units right there. And how do I feel about that? Green being so weak, I'm gonna leave it like that. But then him being S tier is crazy. It's very, very crazy. That is ridiculous. I can't lie, that is ridiculous. This guy being S tier is ridiculous. Like, actually just thinking about it, this guy being worse than these two is ridiculous. Countering blues is not as valuable as it seemed, but that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Top 10 stops at Revzar. Beerus honorable mention, and then the rest does not matter. But these are my honorable mentions where you can actually debate whether they might make it or not. Everybody down here, you're forcing it. You're forcing it. Don't even talk about them. If you want me to order these lot down here, because I'm a LOE, I'm taking VB over Margin Vegeta because the teams, Margin Vegeta can go next, Dragon Fist, and then I'll leave Vegeta like that. That's how I'd sort these lot down here. But this is a top 10, stops at Revzar. An honorable mention, I've got my boy Beerus, and I think that actually solidifies my list. Yeah, I think I'm good on that. But yeah, that's gonna make my list. It wasn't easy, but did it. Just to conclude the list for the guys, the skippers. But if you've watched the whole video, appreciate you for watching the whole video. Just to conclude the whole list, we got Cooler number 1, we got USG number 2, Droids number 3, USV number 4, Broly number 5, Revhan number 6, Tapion number 7, MUI number 8, we got Super Saiyan Trunks number 9, and then we've got Revzar number 10, with Beerus being an honorable mention because I'm trying to munch him. Pause.
No, I'm definitely a munch.
Oh my god, bro. Got him as an honorable mention right there. And then these lot are contenders depending on how you feel yourself. These guys, if they make anybody's top 10, I could kind of hear it, even though I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it personally. Green stocks have gone down. AGF only being carried by LOE because Cooler's so great and he has his own benefits. But then these two here are just heavy hitters in their own sense. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. Let me know what you guys think. Press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 30,000 subscribers. I actually like making these tier lists, and I'm actually happy about the takes I've given here. I feel like everything I've said is well articulated and well thought out. It's not just no scrambling thoughts and just saying things to say things. I feel like I've heavily considered everything, and you guys should be able to feel what I've said in the meta if you play PvP. And of course, if you join into my streams, I stream every single day, you'll be able to see how these guys performs, and you'll see that my tier list is very, very accurate. Anyways, appreciate you guys for watching the video. Like I said, press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 30,000 subscribers. All my social media links are going to be on the bottom of the screen. This is the YouTube channel. We've got Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, account miscounted, and a Discord link all in the description below. So make sure to check me out on all of those. I'm gonna leave it like that. My name is Akashi, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.
Please, lend me your